Everything you know about Ikigai is a lie. The West sold us a pretty chart, a perfect Venn diagram. It promised that if you just find what you love, what you're good at, and what the world pays for, you'll find happiness. But in Okinawa, the land of longevity, they don't use charts. Ikigai isn't a career goal. It is something much more real and far more powerful. Think about the last time you felt truly alive. Not productive, not successful, not busy, alive. For most people, that memory doesn't come from a boardroom victory or a salary raise. It comes from something quieter. A walk at dawn, a meal shared with someone you love. A moment so simple that, if you described it to someone else, they wouldn't understand why it mattered. That is Ikigai. And the tragedy is this. Our entire modern system is designed to make you forget those moments exist. It tells you that meaning must be earned through suffering, built through grind, and validated by strangers on the internet. Okinawa says otherwise. That famous diagram you see everywhere, it's not Japanese. It was actually created in 2011 by a Western blogger. They merged a corporate purpose chart with the word Ikigai. The intention was good, but the soul was lost. Authentic Ikigai isn't about what the world pays you. It is about the reason you wake up in the morning, even if no one is watching, and even if there is no money involved. Here's what nobody tells you. The frantic search for purpose is itself the problem. We've turned finding your why into another productivity goal, another box to tick on our self-improvement checklist. We consume books about it, watch TED Talks about it, journal about it at 5 a.m., and yet the emptiness remains. Because purpose, real purpose, cannot be hunted. It can only be cultivated. Like a garden, it grows when you stop digging and start tending. The people of Okinawa never asked, "What is my Ikigai?" They simply lived, and Ikigai emerged from the living. Consider the cost, not a financial cost. The cost in energy, in years, in quiet days lost to chasing a version of yourself that was never really you. The productivity culture tells us that if we're not optimizing, we're failing. So we optimize. We build morning routines and evening routines and side hustles and personal brands. We curate our lives for an audience of strangers. And somewhere in the middle of all that optimization, we forget to simply be. The ancient Okinawans didn't optimize their lives. They lived them. And that is the single most radical act you can commit in the modern world. To stop performing your life and to start inhabiting it. That is the threshold we are crossing today. Deep in the lush forests of northern Okinawa lies Ogimi, the village of longevity. Here, people don't retire. They possess Ikiru, the sheer will to live. Their days are spent tending gardens, weaving cloth, and gathering with their moai. A moai is more than a social circle. It is a lifelong safety net. It is the guarantee that you are never alone. This belonging is the first pillar of Ikigai. Knowing your existence matters to someone else. Forget the diagram. Real Ikigai stands on 4 foundations. First, starting small. It is the ritual of your morning coffee, the precision of a single task. Second, releasing the ego, accepting what is, without begging for external validation. Third, harmony, understanding how your actions ripple through your community. And fourth, the joy of little things, finding the extraordinary in the ordinary. Master these and the need for a grand purpose simply disappears. In a world obsessed with destination, the Japanese concept of ma offers a radical counterpoint. Ma is the space between things, the pause between musical notes that makes the melody beautiful, the silence between conversations that makes the words meaningful. Your Ikigai lives in the ma of your life. Not in the achievements you're racing toward, but in the quality of attention you bring to each moment in between. What if, instead of asking where you're going, you asked how fully you are here, right now? Before you can find your Ikigai, you must first do something far harder. You must question who you think you are. Because most of what we call identity, our career title, our nationality, our relationship status, is just a story we inherited. A story written by our parents, by our culture, by the algorithm that knows which content keeps us scrolling. Real identity, the kind that can anchor a life worth living, is not found in what you do for money. It's found in the moments when you act with complete integrity, when nobody is watching and there is nothing to gain. The Japanese call this hona, your true voice. as opposed to tatami, the face you show the world. Ikigai lives in the territory of Hone, and most of us haven't visited there in years. This isn't just philosophy, it's biology. Research shows that a clear sense of purpose lowers cortisol and reduces inflammation. It is a survival mechanism. In Japan, they call this vitality iki, to be vibrant, bursting with energy. This energy doesn't come from a paycheck, it comes from flow. That state of being so immersed in a simple activity that time stops. Whether it is gardening or cooking, flow is the bridge to your Ikigai. But Ikigai is also physical. Okinawan centenarians live by harahachibu, the rule of eating only until you are 80% full. Why? A body that isn't overloaded can focus its energy on living. Think about that rule for your life. Don't give 110% to a job that breaks you. Give 80%. Save the rest for your soul. Save it for the things that make your heart beat faster. We have been sold a lie about freedom. We think freedom means having no constraints, no schedules, no rules. But a samurai's greatest freedom came from perfect mastery of his discipline. A jazz musician improvises brilliantly, not despite the years of scales and theory, but because of them. True freedom is not the absence of structure. It is the invisible structure you've built so deeply into yourself that it no longer feels like effort. Your morning ritual, your deliberate practice, your 80% rule, these are not chains. They are the architecture of your liberation. We often feel paralyzed because we look for the end result. But the Japanese secret is Kaizen, continuous, 1% improvement. You don't need to change your life today. You just need to improve one tiny detail. Organize one drawer. Read one page. Take one deep breath. Ikigai is found in the silence between your thoughts and in the resilience to keep moving, exactly one step at a time. One step at a. In Japanese philosophy, there is a concept called shoshin, the beginner's mind. The most dangerous moment in any creative journey is when you start to feel like an expert, because experts stop noticing. They stop being surprised. They stop learning. The beginner, by contrast, sees everything for the first time, with wonder, with curiosity, with absolute presence. Whatever you are building right now, whether it's a business, a skill, or a life, practice returning to shoshin. Every single day, let yourself be a beginner again. It is there, in that humble, open space, that your Ikigai breathes most freely. Satori means sudden awakening. It is the moment you realize you don't find Ikigai. You create it. It isn't hiding on a mountain in Japan. It is sitting right there with you. It is in the steam of your tea, in the work on your desk, in the people you love. You are already enough. Your purpose is simply to be present in the act of becoming. So, stop searching for grand meanings and start with order. If you are ready to begin, my Conscious Finance Kakabo template is free in the description, a tool designed to bring intention to your resources. Subscribe to SatoriStudio. We are building a global community of intention. The awakening starts now. See you in the next moment.